And hello YouTube, welcome back. Yeah, this is the longest I've gone for a while without doing a vlog. I think my last one was, oh gosh. It's like, I can't remember. Let me look at my YouTube control panel while I should be on my way to work. Oh, and of course I can't. I can't because I have no internet. Or do I? I keep forgetting the Obama phone has like no internet. That says I'm on Cox Wi-Fi. That's what I thought. Tuesday. Oh, okay. It's all coming back to me now. Yeah, Tuesday evening on the way to Amazon. That was the last one. That's right. I started it while I was sitting in the drive-thru for Taco Tuesday with the cashier who got really flustered because I ordered soft tacos and she assumed I wanted hard shell tacos, and then seemed really confused. This guy's driving right down the middle of the road as opposed to the right side of the road. All right, we got a left turn with no blinker. Oh, I didn't even make it a block and I hit a bad Phoenix driver. It's amazing how that works. I guess I should say the date and time, huh? Like, what's today's date? Thursday, October 13th, 2022, 7:42 p.m. I am on my way to Bullock's Cocktails for my weekly karaoke show, which I almost quit my job at Amazon over. That's a fun story. Get to that in a moment. I was trying to rehash where I was in the last... Where did I leave off? Tuesday afternoon. Yeah, she seemed kind of confused by the cashier. Seemed kind of confused by the put the lettuce in a box on the side thing, but she got it done right. So, you know, all's well that ends well. Anyway, so Tuesday and Wednesday at work, not the most eventful days, although trying to make sure that I didn't have to work Thursday ended up being quite an ordeal. So it's super busy down at the Amazon warehouse again. We're back to in fact, I think they've kicked it up to 3 nights a week of mass recruitment of new employees. What I like to affectionately refer to as fresh meat. Yeah, for those who are unfamiliar with Amazon's warehouse hiring practices, it's not like other jobs where you have to apply and fill out this long, complicated application and attach a resume, and then have an initial interview on the phone where they decide whether, you know, after if you get past the screened applications, where you have to have an interview on the phone, and if that goes good enough, then you get an in-person interview, and then you go through that, and then maybe if you're lucky, they contact you back and let you know that they're hiring you or not hiring you, or maybe you come back for another interview. Some of the stuff I watch about how to get jobs on YouTube. Wow, that guy is really slowing down progress there. The guy in the little pickup truck with a line of cars behind him. Pretty sure that lane on the left there is from the northbound 143 onto the westbound 202. That guy in the front was going super slow. Most people do about 65 on that ramp, since that's pretty much contiguous freeway from the 143 onto the 202. I mean, theoretically, going straight on the 143 is the way I take, you know, coming back from Rob's shop up to McDowell. But yeah, 143 ends right there in McDowell. Most people stay on freeway traffic, which is that ramp there. The guy's driving slow. Anyway, sorry, I always get distracted by the bad drivers. Or in that case, I wouldn't say he was much of a bad driver as he was a lost driver. Anyway, part of this I gotta at least bear the blame on. I'm not sure. Like, I was told last week at work, not this last week I just finished, but the week before, that mandatory overtime would be coming back. So be aware that would be happening again, because we are so busy once again, and we're kind of short on people to the point that they're doing a lot of mass training. But every time they do a lot of mass hiring and mass training, such a small percentage of the people decide to stick with it and work out. It's it's really the other way around. Like Amazon pretty much hires any warm body that shows up. The application is it's an online web form. It's super minimal, and then they come in and there's not much in the way of interview. They just make sure that you got the necessary paperwork to be employed. So basically the stuff. Fill out your form for the IRS, and make sure you got a social security card and a birth certificate or a driver's license, or 2 of those 3 items. I forget. It's been a while since I've had to deal with it. All I know is that the last time I had a job offer, which was through a temp agency with the Bath and Body Works warehouse a few weeks back, I couldn't find neither my birth certificate, which I'm sure I lost at the bar up on 19th and Bell. I don't think I've replaced it since it got lost there. And my social security card, which I have no idea. I should have that somewhere, but I have no idea where it is. So, I'm supposed to be making a priority of getting that replaced. I haven't. Amazon, annoying, but still convenient, and I'm still there. Anyway, the the hiring thing, like, just people come in and it's almost like an assembly line thing. Like, for me, it took place at PHX 6, and I think that's where they do pretty much. There's other locations where they do it, but they got a room that's all set up just for that, and it's like an assembly line thing. Everybody comes in, and they really don't seem too concerned about where you've worked previously. The only thing they're concerned about is that you got the right documents and that you're eligible for employment, that they have enough information to do a background check on you, which apparently is a pretty minimal background check, because, hey, they hired me, and then a drug test. Well, my iPhone is not going to focus tonight. Come on, focus. All right, hope you all enjoying the blurry drive. And as long as you pass those things, you get an email back telling me, actually, I forget how the process was. Anyway, it was really streamlined. There's not to it. It's not much in the way of, normal stuff. Like, if you're a warm body and you're willing to come work for Amazon, and you pass the background check, which is pretty minimal, and you pass the drug test, which apparently is kind of minimal, because God knows I work with a buttload of potheads, then you're in. Now, granted, you're in as a level 1, warehouse associate. Now, if you're looking for something higher than that, I'm reasonably sure level 3, and as I've explained before, there's no such thing as level 2. I believe level 3, I don't think anybody actually gets hired as level 3. I think level 3 people get moved up from level 1. But a lot of people get hired as level 4. There's probably actual job interviews and stuff for that. Apparently that's all about gotta have a college degree. Although I've been hearing, like, from other coworkers that it doesn't have to be any kind of college degree that has anything to do with Amazon. They just want those people to have college degrees. Although it's possible to work up to that without one if you've been at Amazon for any length of time. Anyway, I digress. I was supposed to talk about what has happened to me since Tuesday, and not that. Anyway, mass hiring going on. They're super busy. Knew there was going to be mandatory overtime. And I know that my assigned mandatory overtime day, which I thought on my work schedule, and turns out I was wrong. I thought on my work schedule of front half nights of Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, that the mandatory overtime day was just automatically Thursday, which, come to find out, is not the case. Nobody ever explained that to me, and I had quite the argument with HR about it. I feel like I discussed some of this on Tuesday. I think this has been like a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday sort of fiasco, and I'm not even getting to the bottom of the story because I'm making good time over at Bullocks, but I want to say Monday night. So maybe I already talked about this. Monday night, on my lunch hour, I checked my schedule, and as expected, and I got a text message saying that I was going to, check my schedule, mandatory overtime is in effect. And probably a push-through message as well from the A to Z app. Anyway, as expected, I'm scheduled for Thursday, and of course I can't work Thursday because I have a show at Bullocks. And this is always a big conundrum for me because I make way more money on an overtime shift at Amazon than I do a karaoke show at Bullocks. However, one thing I've definitely learned is it's next to impossible to get a karaoke gig when I don't have a karaoke gig. And at some point I would like to properly resurrect my karaoke business. So that said, I'm hanging on to this show. As much as I get frustrated with it sometimes, and I was pretty frustrated last week, I'm hanging on to this show. And part of it's the principle of just Amazon trying to, push me around. It's like, I have a life outside of Amazon. Thank you very much. Anyway, I was on I want to say probably Monday during my lunch break, so like midnight, so technically early Tuesday morning, but my Monday night, Tuesday morning work shift. Went to figure I'd do what I did last time. They stuck me with the Thursday mandatory overtime. And granted, I did it a little sooner. Last time I did it, I did it Sunday, but whatever, one day sooner, not a huge thing. But yeah, it said that shift swap was not available. And I'm like, oh, that complicates things. And of course, I'm all out of PTO until next January. So that's not an option anymore. I mean, I've got some PTO, but not enough to cover a full shift. And I'm kind of hanging on that to just ration it for those minutes when I'm, a few minutes late for work, so I don't lose an hour of UPT over it. Anyway, I do have enough UPT to cover it, but I have a pretty low balance of UPT, and I'm not trying to waste 10 hours of UPT over a shift that I shouldn't even have to fucking work. So kind of shocked to see that shift swap had been disabled. I was kind of just counting on that taking care of it, because it took care of it last time I had a Thursday mandatory overtime shift. I just put in shift swap, and somebody picked it up within the hour while I was singing Sunday afternoon karaoke over at Osbar. So yeah, that was disabled. So I figured, well, I got 3 days. Oh, I missed my light just barely. Well, I got 3 days. Why not put in to use vacation? That should be enough time to get vacation approved. Because I remember the last time I tried to put in vacation, for something the day before, it wasn't enough time to get it put in as vacation. But I mean, generally supposedly vacation is supposed to be approved within a day or two. Although it's discretionary, they don't have to give it off. So I'm a little worried that, so when I put it in, I'm thinking, well, that should go to Sean. He's the one of my apps shows as my direct manager. I figure he's the one I'm going to ask this question to as opposed to HR, since I think he'd be the one approving it. So after my lunch break, when I catch, the first time I catch him, he's got a little hang time. I ask him about it, and he says that because we're entering peak season, that he can't approve any vacation. And I'm like, oh shit. I said, well, I can't come in on Thursday, period. I have another gig. It's like a professional entertainer gig that I can't. I'm a one-man show. Nobody else can be me. And he goes, well, he said, well, what can I do? I said, because I can't be here. And he goes, well, you can switch your mandatory overtime day. I'm like, really? So you put in a schedule where I said, HR told me last time that I'd have to change my schedule. I said, my schedule is exactly what it needs to be. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday with me not working Thursday, but my mandatory overtime needs to be different. He goes, oh, well, you can change that without changing the rest of your schedule. I'm like, really? HR told me I couldn't. Because last time this was a conflict, HR straight up told me I couldn't, that I would have to change my full schedule, which obviously I don't want to do. So anyway, he showed, and I'm like, he's like, that's an A to Z app. I'm like, yeah, you're really going to have to show me how to do that. I said, I have no clue where to find that in the A to Z app. And so, and granted, I should be getting back to, doing work and social heat, but whatever. I mean, this is part of my job, and damned if I'm going to try to figure it out and fail to do it on my own time. So it took him a while to find it. But he did find where it was, and he scrolls through it. I mean, there's all kinds of different shifts. I mean, at first he thought he found it. It was like, oh wait, no, that's day shift. But eventually he found it, and there's an option of the same schedule I have, but with my mandatory overtime day being Friday, and then the same thing with my mandatory overtime day being Saturday. I'm like, well, hey, why don't you put me in for both? I said, I'd take either or. I just cannot be here Thursday. But again, it said in it that it's discretionary, and that I will be notified if there's approval. And I'm like, well, how long what does it take? He goes, well, I really don't know. Okay, that guy's waving me across, even though he has the right of way. I hate it when people do that, but I understand why he's doing that, because he probably doesn't trust me to not run his ass over. That's what Phoenix drivers do. Have I mentioned that we're number one in the world or number one in the United States for car pedestrian accidents and fatalities? I feel like I have. Anyhow, yeah, pedestrians are careful here because they know they're taking their life in their hands on every crosswalk. So anyway, puts it in, and I said, this is, and it's making it look like it could take a while. I'm like, I need to know that it's been switched before this weekend, because I can't work Thursday. He's like, well, you know what? Just, it's in the system. Somebody at HR has to approve it, but why don't you just leave it tonight and see if maybe somebody handles it day shift tomorrow. And then when you come in on your shift tomorrow, so this would have been Taco Tuesday, like after I did my last vlog. And when you come in, talk to HR. Which actually I ended up, I think, doing after my second break. Like, it was not... maybe it was later. I don't know. I'm getting lost in minutia like I do way too often, though, but... I was trying to block early. It's been a while since I've come in this direction. I was hoping I'd see some lizards on the street, but if there were any, I didn't even notice them. My understanding, the city of Phoenix, the PD has been kind of cracking down on streetwalkers on 27th Avenue, which isn't to say they're still not happening, but yeah, police does seem to be actually making an effort to put it to a stop. Which is probably a good thing, but I just enjoy looking, enjoy scoping out the merchandise. Anyhow, so I feel like I'm not sure at one point at my shift. I think it's like right towards the beginning, or maybe after stand-up or whatever. I asked Zarema, aka Taco, if she was at the control test, if it would be cool if I went and talked to HR, because I had to make sure that I'm getting Thursday off because I can't work. She's like, oh yeah, no problem. And she's well aware of my karaoke show, so she keeps saying she's going to come. She never has, but at any rate, she knows what's up with it. So she's like, yeah, no problem. Now's a good time, before we get busy. So I go over, I talk to HR, and that did not go well at all. And I got to wrap this up because I'm at Bullock's and I got to get in and get my karaoke stuff set up. But in a nutshell, they were just like, oh, nope, it's mandatory, you have to come in. And I'm like, well, I can't come in. And I'm just kind of getting the runaround of like, well, I said, Sean, help me put in on a thing, for to shift my overtime day. And he's like, well, that takes 2 weeks. I'm like, well, I need it now. And then I get this whole thing of, well, we give you lots of options. You've got PTO and UTP and vacation. I said, well, I've done the other things. I said, I don't have any PTO left. I've already used my PTO for the year. As far as and my UTP is running kind of low. I said I put in for a request for vacation, And Sean said that because of peak that they can't do, he can't approve vacation. And the guy at HR was like, oh, well, they can. He can. That's not until November. So apparently no vacation after November. Fabulous. Which point I'm like, okay. And then I'm like, well, I understand. I said, this is a gig that I've had for a long time. I said, it's like, I can come in on Saturday. I can come in on Friday. I said, but my Thursdays are inflexible. I cannot be here. I will not be here. And at one point he gets kind of snippy with me and he goes, well, understand, Amazon doesn't accommodate second jobs. And I said, well, understand, Amazon is my second job. I just turned around and walked away from him. Anyway, long story short, all's well that ends well. I did go back and tell Sean what had happened, and Sean took care of it. Did take a couple of times of bugging him on Tuesday night to get that handled, and then during my shift on Thursday night, I did see in the schedule that it had been removed and not replaced with another overtime day. So I kind of have my choice as to whether I want to work work some overtime this weekend. I do see shifts available on the A to Z, so I might work, I might not. As it is, I'm going to get an extra 10 hours worth of pay on my paycheck because it's paid vacation time, which is not really what I was trying to do, but again, I'll take it. I could use the money right now. Anyway, I need to get inside. I need to do my karaoke show. Do my voluntary primary job that pays less than my fuck you, this is my second job. But, as a matter of principle, like, gigs like this are very hard to get. And any fool can walk up to Amazon, and as long as they pass the background check and a lot of other warehouses have just as easy hiring processes. And I've already been offered like one other, and I get stuff like I get text messages, about 2-3 text messages a day offering me jobs, or at least giving me leads for jobs. So yeah, I'm completely confident that if this did not work out, that I could be working in another warehouse within 2 weeks. But man, crazy that they gave me so much, I say that HR gave me so much pushback over something that you'd think would be simple. Especially for somebody like me. Like, I'm not a new guy, I'm not a trainee. I'm trained in so many different departments, and I understand how so many different things work, and just, but again, these decisions aren't made by the actual managers that I work with and the supervisors I work with. Nothing is merit-based at Amazon. It really isn't. It's, so yeah, I mean, none of the people that I work above, and I also talked to Ty about it, and Ty was going to do his best to make sure if Sean didn't handle it, Ty was going to try to handle it. But it's just ridiculous. I mean, the whole reason that HR is supposed to be there is to help out with shit like this, and just HR just made it shitty. And pissed me off almost to the point that I quit. I'm like, I even said to the guys, like, so should I just plan on tomorrow being my last day? He looked at me shocked, like, you would really quit over this? I'm like, I'm not going to be here Thursday. You're saying I'm going to get fired if I go into negative UPT, and I'm telling you I'm not going to be here. It's going to put me in negative UPT, so do the math. Should I even waste my time coming back? Because it's a lot of gas for me to drive here. I'm not going to drive here on Sunday if I'm not going to have a job. Anyway, I got to do my show. I'm ready to rock. Representing for the gangsters all across the world, still hitting them corners in them lolos. Do me some Snoop.